everyone, it is Jim Warrior. And I don't know what I'm about to say actually. Um, as most of you know, if you watch a lot of my videos, I work like a graveyard shift at a job. And so I just got off this morning. It's very early here, a little after 7. And as I was coming home, I heard a goddess's kind of like, well, not so much her voice. I kind of heard like, I kind of felt her presence, I guess. And it was Nivan, or Nemain. I have no problem pronouncing it like that. I do actually most of the time. It looks like it's spelled Nemain, but it's pronounced usually Nivan or Nevin. Celtic pronunciations are so strange in spellings. But anyway, she is a Celtic goddess if you're not familiar, and most of the time she's considered to be an aspect of the Morrigan. And let me get my cat because she's being ridiculous. She always tries to get so noisy when I make a video. I don't know why. Sweetheart, come out of there. Please. Please. I'm making a video. Skedaddle. You two go. You can go with her, please. Go along. Go along. Oh my god, it's like having children. It really is. Anywho. Yes, so Nivan came to me, and I kind of just felt her presence as I was coming home, and she just kind of said, hey, I want you to speak about me. Like, I need for you to talk. And it's not so much, for me to tell you, right? I think this is very much like she just wants me to acknowledge her presence, and kind of, she wants me to talk about her for my own sake. But I thought I would share it with you, because why not? I mean, if Nivan is an energy or an archetype or a goddess that, can benefit you too, why not share it while I talk about it instead of just to the wall by myself hashing it out. Or just directly to her. Appropriately in this video, my hair is kind of crazy, which works perfectly with, look at that, which works perfectly with Nivan. Forgive me if I pronounce it differently throughout this video, like Nivan, Nevin, Nemain. Just know that I'm talking about the same person. But she is a Celtic goddess. She's usually considered to be an aspect of the Morrigan. If you've worked with the Morrigan, as a lot of us do, you know that she is usually a triple goddess. The Celts are huge on triple goddesses, having different aspects of one entity, one deity. However, sometimes she's not. And most people believe that Nemain isn't truly a part of this triad of the Morrigan, this rotating triad. There are so many goddesses that have been associated with the Morrigan that it can be really hard to keep track because everyone has their own version of who the 3 sister goddesses are that make up the Morrigan. But there's usually one whose name is Morrigan, which is really confusing. It's really maddening, which leads me to Nivan. She is a goddess of like frenzy. And a lot of times people translate her name, Nivan, as meaning frenzy, venomous, or poisonous. Some other term I'm going to refer to a book. Let me think. Venomous, frenzy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, you get the gist. But, I was looking, by the way, at a book I've mentioned before, which is Celtic Lore and Spellcraft of the Dark Goddess, Invoking the Morrigan by Stephanie Whitfield. Really good book, you guys. But anywho, she's a goddess of, like, frenzy. She's kind of that battle fury, that rage, that bloodlust that you feel on the battlefield. So she's very much in line with the, like, war aspect of the Morrigan. And I think that she's come up again to me and has revealed herself to me this morning because yesterday I made a video for the YouTube Pagan Challenge about the sun where I mentioned a little bit about like depression and my Tourette syndrome and just mental illness in paganism, which I'll link below. And I think in me thinking about that again, I probably attracted her energy because at that time in my life, I was very much of Nivan. That was very much the aspect of the Morgan that I connected to and that I worked with, because I do consider her to be a part of the Morgan, personally. So, anywho, I worked and still do work with her occasionally, not much, because she is such an intense goddess, which many would probably call a negative goddess, not just dark, like negative. But she's very strong and intense. But I read in a book, which I also pulled for you. Um, I love this book. The Guises of the Morrigan, and that art is beautiful, is it not? By David Rankin, and Sarita de Este. I don't know how to say that name, but that's absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't read it and you follow the Morrigan, you really should. Um, but I remember reading about her in this, and then reading an article about her, probably on Witch Vox or something, on Witch's Voice some years ago, and it said, like these modern interpretations of Nivan cast her as not just a goddess of like frenzy, like on the battlefield, but also the frenzy of like the mundane world. So like a goddess of like schizophrenia, anxiety, basically all the negative emotions. Like kind of cast her as a goddess of like mental instability or emotional instability. Like those are her people. And I really feel drew to that at the time, because I was dealing with depression a lot, and I was really having a flare up of a lot of tics. Tics are symptoms. Well, not symptoms. Tics are like the actions that come from Tourette syndrome. But anywho, I was dealing a lot with a lot of tics at the time that I had never exhibited before. So like verbal tics, and I'll just say symptoms to make it easy, but like verbal symptoms and things of Tourette's. I was having symptoms of Tourette's I'd never had, and it was really bad and embarrassing and painful. And so anyway, Nivan had come up on my radar, and I decided to work with her. And it was really great. Really great. I had already been working with the Morrigan in her guise of Morgan Le Fay for 3 years or so at this point. So I had been working with Morgan for quite a while, and was very comfortable with her, and knew that she was my mother, my mama, and my matron. But I'd never worked with her in other guise outside of Morgan. I'd never worked with her as just the Morrigan, or I'd never worked with her in any other form, just Morgan Le Fay. And it's crazy because I think all of these aspects are the same goddess, and at the same time they're not the same goddess. It's very paradoxical. But anywho, I decided to accept the call of Nivan, and she came to me and was so intense, so batshit crazy in her appearance and in her energy. It was so ecstatic, like it was electric. It made me feel almost uncomfortable. But I didn't shy away from her. I was like, let's do this. Let's do this, biatch. I know you're calling out to me for a reason. So, if you see me clutching these a lot, these are beads that I use. These are my Morrigan beads, and that I had made just based on colors that I see with the Morrigan. So if I keep touching them or holding them, it's because I'm feeling very connected to my mama. But anywho, Nivan came to me and basically set up a platform that allowed me to be crazy for a little while. Like I would, over the course of a couple of months, I would cast a circle and would call her, invoke her energy, and would basically have this allowed period of insanity. So I would cast the circle, and then I would just let myself be crazy. I would just talk out loud. I would talk in gibberish. I would curse and yell and shout and say nonsense, make up stories, tell lies. basically cathartic, but in a very crazy way, like in a frenzy. I basically went into this frenzy each time. And it felt really good to allow myself to be crazy, to be everything that society tells us not to be. It was really awesome to just let the darkness, the craziness in me flourish. I would scratch at the walls and like the floor and dance and draw, rip up paper and just be crazy. And it felt really good. And I did it again and again and again with her for, like I said, a couple of months at least, 2 to 3 months. And it was awesome. And it really helped me let go of this bottled up craziness. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It really helped me with my Tourette syndrome. This was actually right before I started working with the sun, which in the video that I'm linking down below, I talked about using that with my mental, like how that helped me with mental health, the sun. But yeah, it was incredibly powerful. And towards the end of our sessions, she and Vivian, who is another goddess of mine that I'd work with consistently, like she's never left me, and I really don't think she ever will. Vivian is my name for the Lady of the Lake, an Arthurian goddess. Well, anyway, she and Vivian approached me in one of these circles, and my voice is getting so rash and harsh sounding, like I sound like Batman. And it's I'm not even sick. It's just like, this might sound weird, and it's probably subconscious, but whenever I talk about Nemain to anyone, I get like this. I talk in a really different voice. It's really strange. And I think it's Nemain's energy. I'm just drawing on it and pulling it out of myself, and that's just how I speak when... That's just how I speak. See, this is my normal voice. That's just how I speak when I speak of Nemain. She really does pull out the crazy in me, and I just have to talk in a more serious tone. Like, it's weird, but I love her so. But anywho, towards the end of our sessions, Nemain, I see her as being the goddess of banshees, or banshees, or banshees, however you want to say it. Banshees. I see her as being the goddess, like the matron of banshees, like of all those spirits. She's like their goddess because she's very much like a banshee. If you read her myth, she's only got a few, but if you read her myth, this main myth where she is in the battle with Cuchulainn, I always want to say Cuchulainn, but you know who I'm talking about. He's a Romanized version. Like the Romans said that he was a Celtic Hercules, but Cuchulainn, something like that. This hound guy. Anyway, I'm really bad with the Celtic pronunciations. Even though I love them so much, I never say their names right. And I think they've just learned to be like, okay, we know Jim's not going to say our names right, but let's just focus on the fact that he loves us. But anyway, like a true Southerner, I pronounce things however the hell I want. But you see how I'm like scattered all over the place in this video? I'm so honoring Nemain's energy right now. But anyway, towards the end of our sessions, me and Nemain, she came to me along with, like I said, Vivian, and they surrounded me in these other women. It's like these women who I instinctively could recognize as banshees. I knew that they were banshees. They encircled me and all began to scream on me, including Nemain. Vivian didn't, but scream on me, like they just like, because you know that's what banshees do. They wail and cry and scream and moan, and that prophesizes things. Well, Nemain, in one myth, she uses her scream to actually knock out an entire army. She literally just screams at them. She's just like, ah! And they just collapse dead. So anyway, they're all screaming at me, but it's not hurtful. It's like their sound waves. Like I can see the sound waves coming out of their mouth, like, you know how sound waves look, like ripples, like circles. Anyway, I could see their waves, their sound, tangibly, and they were all hitting me, but going into me, and they're all centering into my heart chakra. If this makes sense, it was like behind my heart chakra. and it was concentrating itself and kind of forming like an extra heart chakra. Later on, I would come to call it my star chakra. And so anyway, she kind of concentrated this energy in me behind my heart, and she was like, that's your Banshee star. It'll be the energy that you need to get through what's about to happen in your life. And I was like, well, what's going to happen in my life? Because this was very much a prophecy, like Banshees are known for. And of course, after that is when I dealt with a lot of really bad stuff in my life. I lost a job. I lost a home. Again, I've been homeless a couple of times in my life. I lost my home. I lost my job. I lost my friends. I literally lost everything. I lost my family. I lost everything. Literally everything. I lost my pet. My pet died. And this was all at the same time. I'm not kidding. This was all in the same, 2 weeks. My family disowned me. Oh, I'm shooting you a bird. Oh my god. My family disowned me. My friends kind of broke up with me. And my roommates kicked me out of our home. And then my pet died. So that energy became really important for me because it was all I had. I was like, at least I've got this Banshee star. And it was really like a source for me of catharsis. I would go out in the middle of the countryside here, and I would just scream and scream and scream and scream and scream. But as I did it in a, not just in a, oh, I'm going to scream and let all my energy out, like in some chaotic way. It was a very focused and scream with intention, basically. I screamed with intention, and I screamed while thinking about that energy and bringing it up through my throat chakra and out of my mouth. Like I was drawing the Banshee star out of me and just screaming and releasing that energy. And in doing so, instead of just kind of allowing me to feel the pain by vocalizing it, it actually really let me release the pain and give me clarity and answers about what I needed to do next. It was it helped me to truly release my pain and the destructive situation that I was in. It really kind of kept me from going into a really bad mental place. So it kind of kept me from mental instability in a way by allowing myself to have these controlled moments of mental instability. I don't know what else she wants me to say. I don't know why she wanted me to make this video, you guys. I didn't know I was going to say any of this until I started this video. But that's been my experience with Nemain. I haven't relived that actually since it happened, so that was crazy. To see those images again in my head, of my life at that point. But Nemain is definitely a goddess worth your time. And if she's calling to you, pick up the phone, y'all, because for real. Because it's going to be something important. She doesn't just come by to say, hey. Nemain does not do check-ins. Nemain shows up because shit's about to go down and you need her. And with that said, I hope that does not mean that my shit's about to go down because she approached me. But anyway, Nemain is amazing and extremely deserving of respect. She is so not a goddess to joke about or to take lightly. She's really not. And I'm a big jokester. I'm a huge trickster. That's my totem. But Nemain is so serious and so intense. So that's my video, I guess. I guess I'll wrap up now. That's my input on Nemain and how fucking badass she is and how she helped me through my life in some of its darkest times. And it's why the Morgan will always be my matron. I adore her. She has so many sides to her. Everything that you need is within that one goddess. She's amazing. And now I'm probably going to make a bunch of videos about the Morgans, different aspects. But thank you, Nemain. But namaste and ashe. I hope wherever you are, you're well. Peace out, Girl Scouts.